Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Dolecast. You didn't think I was going to do it that quickly, did you? We've got another banger episode. Today, a shocking turn of events here in Doleville. Yeah, we're going to start this again. I'm joking. But we've got Tim Gallagher and Aaron McCann, the Dirt Civil guys, coming on the podcast. We were going to have Tim on, and then Tim was like, Aaron's going to come on, which is
15 minutes before the podcast started.
Great, you know. We are always prepared. We're always prepared. Could be worse for the Jam podcast. Yo! But yeah, so we're just going to basically...
It's a good one.
It's a very good one. Talk custard creams, Gemma Collins,
Brussels sprouts, movies. It's a longer one. If you're not used to listening, if you voted on Daniel's Instagram poll for shorter episodes, you're not going to be happy because it's an hour and 10 minutes. Goodbye.
Well, guys, good to have you on. How are you both?
How's it going, lads?
Fantastic. How is everyone?
It's
good.
I'm surprised, to be honest. We were preparing for just a one-on-one chat with Tim, and we're like, okay, I think we're ready for this. And then Tim's like, oh no, Aaron's coming on as well, and we're like, okay.
What a disappointment.
Battle stations. We've got 15
What are your
minutes.
expectations?
No.
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, there's a text and the big dog coming on. I was like, is that McCann?
It's just a big dog. He's just brought a huge dog on. It's just...
It would have been weird if it wasn't McCann. Like, I just brought some random guy with me.
Just bring your old boy on.
I bring out Yule on, just straight in.
That's
To be fair, he usually calls me daddy, but the big dog.
Yeah. Similar thing with us. We sort of...
No, do not say that, because then people are going to think it's true. That's not true.
No, but it definitely is true in our case. Like, I do call him daddy, just purely because he asked me to, you know. And he also does a thing when we're in the queue for, say, getting a coffee or something pretty mundane, just a nice day out, the boys, you know. And McCann will say he'll pay for it just because he's a good guy. And he'll say, don't worry, Daddy's got this. Like, just so the people behind the till can hear exactly where I sit in the relationship, you know.
Just so they know, man. You know what I mean?
Who wears the pants now?
Oh, why?
Brilliant.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You guys did a podcast. You still do a podcast, Dirt Civil.
Yes.
Which you guys started. When about did you guys start that?
Tim?
When was
Good
it?
to say that it means so much that you remember when it was started.
It would have been like around, I want to say,
September.
like September. So we're nearly like, I mean, once you take the lockdown out of it, we're basically a year. You know
Fair
what I mean?
play. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, September. I think it was September.
Yeah, it became a hit pretty quickly. I remember seeing that just all over my Instagram at the start of it when it all kicked off. I saw Geddes posting about it, and I saw obviously you guys posting it as well. And it's a very good podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
And I understand the dynamic is that Aaron, you're the dirt, and Tim, you're the civil.
Yes.
It's how did the actual podcast come about?
Basically, like I had been like appearing on Friends podcast, so basically like Geddes mainly, and then like me and Dave used to do a podcast together called Fathead and the Big Dog, which I actually fit into both categories as well.
It's like who's who, you'll never know.
Fathead.
That's my Dan McCann.
We had Dave and Shane on Friday there.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy how we've just got two more on. Just like that. Absolutely class. But yeah, no, I listened to the recent Boytown that you were on. I saw you and Dave talking about that briefly as well. Would you say Dirt Civil's the one that's stuck now? I know you do Stop the World now as well.
Yeah, Dirt Civil just like was kind of like we always hang about anyway and like talk. And there's sometimes that we'd be talking. I'd be like, man, if this was a podcast, hey, like you know. But then you think that like with your mate, you're like, oh, some people might find that funny, and then sometimes you're totally wrong. Like people are like, yeah, definitely keep that banter between yourselves. But for some reason, there was just enough people that liked it, so we were like, oh, like we have something here,
Yeah.
which is good.
I mean, if the audience is on the same wavelength that you're on when you're talking and you're making jokes, that's good. But if they don't get it, it can be even funnier, to be honest, because they're just laughing for the sake of laughing, you know.
Oh yeah, like there's definitely I definitely don't think it's for everyone, but then again, you don't want a podcast that is, because what the fuck's that? BBC Radio 4 or something? So I don't know.
Dave and Shane doing the music on the real lockdown.
The lockdown.
Yeah. I know. Do you guys have a studio, or do you guys rent a studio for Dirt Civil?
DC Studios.
We just got evicted, actually.
Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did.
We had a studio. We kind of had like a pretty sweet deal going on with a place, and then out of nowhere, they were looking for money, and we were kind of just like, you and your whole crew.
Money?
That's enough. When we have to invest, we step back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's brilliant.
I was like, this podcast ain't making me.
Genuinely, our studio is my kitchen. Like, that's genuinely, we record just in front of my kitchen.
Dude, you're looking at where I record Stop the World right now. Like, this is in my, like, there's my oven over there. Like, you know what I mean?
Kitchens are prime. They're prime. They're prime places to record.
It's a bit of a time difference, to be fair, for McCann recording now and when he records the Stop the World, which is 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's when I feel like I'm at my best.
Prime time, prime creative.
When the birds are out.
Schedule's a bit out the window during lockdown.
Yeah. It's like, but I'm looking forward to doing Dirt Civil again, because solo podcast, while it is also enjoyable, is just very different. Like, very different dynamic. But, you know, it's just nicer to have someone there, like, who you're already very friendly with anyway, to bounce off.
This guy here.
That's him.
Yeah,
I mean, Zoom's been good, like, as a good alternative, but it really, I think as we were saying to Shane and Dave, it really, the physical energy and the physical chemistry that you can bounce off each other, it's better when you're sitting across from each other, you know, but Zoom is the next best thing, you know. If I had to do this on Zoom or not do it at all, I think I'd just go Zoom for a bit, you know. But
not do it at all in our instance.
Well, in your guys' case, that's like fair play to us, you know. In our case, it's just like we're bored, you know, so might as well get a podcast out, you know.
Let's have something to do, you know.
I think the thing with us was like we really didn't want because I suppose we got lucky. We stepped into like the top studio with the top mics, like the same mics Rogan uses, things like that. And then whenever we went to home, we didn't have any equipment at the start. McCann's recently bought all his equipment. I bought all my equipment, but like we didn't want the quality to take a massive step down. So then we were like, we'll just leave it for a while and then hopefully build up that people want it more and more. And then we like release just a really class episode just out of the blue sometime.
Oh yeah. We've had it. Tim, listen, mate, when lockdown's over and we're back, it is over for these.
For all the hosts in the world, it's over.
It's went from big studios, Rogan level, to recording in kitchens so quickly.
Yeah.
Here, I record with a big guy, Michael Jordan. Watch The Last Dance once by the poster. This guy.
Really? I was gonna watch it and then I just never got around. Is it good?
It's unbelievable.
It's good.
It is unbelievable. Yeah.
Have you been watching many movies during lockdown? Have you been watching, like, Tiger King was a big one that came out, not movie-wise, but you know what I mean? Like, at the start when it came out, and like, because there's no better time to release a movie / TV show during a pandemic.
100%.
Who else is not going to watch it? You know, if you've got nothing to do, you might as well watch it, you know? But is there anything that you've been watching?
Dude, I've been watching so much. I've been watching Mad Men. And then they took it off Netflix.
Literally, yes. Oh, last night I went on to look for Mad Men. Gone.
Dude, crazy. And I was like, this is surely one of your top shows. Like, this is like apparently meant to be one of the best shows ever made, and they took it off.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and like Netflix, I think Netflix they either pick and choose or they have a contract. And other times it's like, well, do you want us to move the Amazon Prime? You know, because
Yeah.
I won't move the Amazon Prime. There's one movie on Amazon Prime you want to watch, guaranteed. There's no more than like 3, you know,
Yeah.
and you're not paying 70 quid odd for it, you know. So 1, 2, 3 movies, and you're sweet, you know.
I hate any like overhanging payments that have to come in every month, like even £10 from Apple
Any
Music.
any payments, not good.
Any bills? No thanks. Not a fan.
Class.
I hate
Do you-
bills.
Hate bills. Little bill. The electricity bill.
You guys,
But Bill and Ben,
Hate
the
them.
flower pot man.
But just Bill. Ben's alright.
He's
But
dead
fuck
on, he's
Bill.
dead on.
Ben sound, Bill and Ben, not a good combo.
Bill, dude.
I know you guys love to go to the cinema.
Oh
Now we're getting to the
yeah, here we go. Omniplex straight in.
Yeah, I've heard this. I listened to their several bit, and I've heard every episode without fail. There's always something to do with the cinema. Without
Bro,
fail,
we love the
something.
pictures
We love the cinema. Oh man, I miss the cinema so much actually.
so much, dude.
What was the last thing you saw?
Parasite, was it?
Yes, it was Parasite, dude.
Man,
Is it
I
good?
know
Is it
I
good?
know the films we've seen, you know. It's on Netflix now, I think, as well.
Oh, well, I'll watch that then. I'll watch
Yeah.
that.
Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of the two, but yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's a
It's
bit of
so
a think.
good.
It's a bit of a thinker, like it's like
Mhm.
Yeah.
quite slow to get
And
started.
that you have to read subtitles.
yeah. Yeah, it's not in English, so
Well,
that's
this
not,
one's quite a thinker.
I struggle to read sometimes, so it was a really difficult sit for me.
It's
not gonna
twice
lie.
as long because he has to pause at every frame and then read it and then go on.
Exactly.
And watching a pile of owl lads in Tyrone come in and not realise they had to read for an hour and a half was very entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Their money back. Have you ever seen Inception? Inception, a real thing.
Inception's a good movie.
Tenet,
Good.
it's coming out. Looks very good.
It does look great.
It looks great. Anything Christopher Nolan does, I will watch. But at the same time, I will have no clue what I'm watching. But I still appreciate it. You know. It's
See the whole director thing? I don't have a clue. I just
Oh.
watched the film, you know. Christopher Nolan. Who's that guy? I've heard the name. I know he's pretty big. He probably does some really good movies.
He did the
But
Dark
just
Knight trilogy. That's
Just tell me who's in it. Just tell me who's in it.
It's a Steven Spielberg character.
Yeah, who's that guy? Does he act? Does he act? I'm not interested. You know.
He hosts a TV show. He's just. I could see Steven Spielberg and all doing podcasts. Like imagine a Steven Spielberg or like Christopher Nolan podcast. You get that's stuff that they don't branch off into because they have to have the DVD extras, which no one's listened to anyway.
There's money to be
Oh,
made.
yeah.
There's money to be made in those podcasts.
To be fair, I don't think Christopher Nolan's struggling for a few quid.
No. But
yeah, no.
I think he's pretty sound.
I'd
You might have
say
Spielberg like, lad, let's do a Zoom podcast.
We're not looking good. We might
uh,
have to.
times are tight, boys.
That's
Times are tight. What about this podcast?
Can we get on the Spotify?
Because Jaws 75 isn't making me money, you know? Like, seriously. But I'd say Quentin Tarantino would be a guy who'd be up for doing a podcast. You just get Tarantino on, and he's just like, so, hey, and he takes you away for 2 hours. He's gone, you know?
Brilliant impression. Spot on.
Not rehearsed as well. So,
Dude, I thought I was in the fucking room with him for a second.
Here, did you just admit him into the room there, or was that?
well, he probably smelt one of our feet, or someone's feet was up on screen. He's like, hey, oh, come on.
Old Tarantino's a boy, like.
He loves his feet. He loves his feet.
He loves it.
That's this episode's title. He loves his.
He loves his feet.
He just loves his.
And it's like, you don't know who you're talking about. It could be either four of us, and then
It
you
could
come
be
on
any
and
of
reveal
us.
it's Tarantino.
That's a very good clickbait title, yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's a thumbnail. Oh.
Straight in. Tim's feet.
Was it last week? I think I was actually on. I was talking to Aaron, and then not you, but him. And as again, you don't know who I'm talking about there. But I joined your Instagram live, and as I was joining your Instagram live, this other guy in the comments was talking about me, and I was like, "Oh, that's my name," and I was like, "What on earth is going on here?"
It
Yeah,
looks staged.
It was a weird one. I was like, okay, Dan's definitely paid this guy, because then Dan just walked in and be like, oh, you're talking about me on my Instagram live that 5 people watch, you know?
I joined and he said something like, oh, Daniel Houston would be a good guest, and I was like, this looks so dodgy. This looks like he did
say that. I don't know who the guy was.
Yeah.
But he must know you, or he must think, here, Dan needs to be on the podcast. And we've made it happen in some weird form here. So
I don't know how we're here, but we're glad we're here.
He's got his wish, so shout out to that guy. I don't know who you are, but shout out.
Just whoever he's, give him a shout out.
Oh, brilliant. Class. Oh, brilliant. Oh, so good. Tim, I saw this actually got a lot of views. I think I saw your rant about Gemma Collins and Eddie's job. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was I don't know how many views it's gotten. Like, I don't really look at views for Instagram TV because I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, I just got annoyed. It wasn't even so much the fact that she was promoting it. It was more
in general.
Yeah, and like that product, it just seemed weird to me that like a prescription drug was being promoted by a reality TV star, which was really odd. Like, it just didn't sit well with me. Like, McCann knows, just before he brings it up, I promoted things that I used to sell Herbalife, for example, just to throw that in.
I wasn't going to say that, Tim, but you know.
I know, but I like to be transparent. You know, I'm called the honest online coach. I can't be lying up in here. You know? Yeah. So exactly. I was like, so then McCann brought that up probably in a message and was like, oh yeah, here, pot calling kettle black. Well done, fair play.
I would never say that, but yeah.
But yeah, no, it didn't sit well with me that, like, and then Kerry Katona comes on the live and says, I give this to my kids. Like, I'd inject my kids with this fat.
You're a good parent. You're a brilliant parent. Well done. Oh my
God. And she was definitely like fully dosed up on heroin or something. But
definitely an anti-vaxxer.
It is what it is. I just don't agree with. People can do what they want to lose weight, but an injection and then promoting it to kids, and Gemma Collins of all people promoting it with no medical history. Like,
to be fair, I think Gemma Collins has went through about 5,000 different ways trying to lose weight. She's went right. Get the old syringe out, you know. Like
she probably done Herbalife at one stage. I don't know.
See, you were saying there about promoting stuff and like, oh, because it was Gemma Collins promoting it. Well, one, she's thick as champ, and two, there was a YouTuber. There was a YouTuber who got like Love Island star to promote gravel or something. You know?
Oh yeah.
He tricked them into thinking it was gravel. You know what I mean?
And there's a guy. Have you ever heard of Jackmate?
Oh, he's brilliant. He's good.
He put like Poundland creams in a little tub, and he called it Jockmate. So like in French. And he sent it to all the Love Island people, and all of them promoted it. All of them promoted it. It's so like, it's just really, really bad.
Love Island ones are a different breed. Like,
that's what Gemma Collins would call her podcast if she started one. It would just be thick as champ with Gemma Collins.
I think she has one actually. I think she's got one on BBC Sounds. It's actually it's listened to by a lot of people. Which, come on, listen to the Dolecast or Dirt Silver. You know.
There you go.
Gemma Collins, if you're listening, come on next week and
defend yourself. Yeah.
If you boys get Gemma Collins on next week, I'll be like, fair play. They've won the game.
I've actually bought the skinny job. I bought 5 needles. They're coming next week.
Amazon Prime, straight in.
Amazon Prime.
He's embarrassed because Tim's not happy with it. He's trying to desperately cancel his order.
I love how all the morals go out the window of like, you shouldn't be promoting this to kids. She's coming on the podcast, order 20, bring them in.
Nice. Try before you buy.
If Gemma Collins come on the podcast, I'll promote whatever she wants me to promote. I couldn't care less. If that's what it takes to get her on.
Like, of all the guests, like, what are you gonna ask her? Like, oh, when you fell on the ice, was it sore? You know, like,
I think she's doing Rogan next week.
Oh yeah. That'll be it. Joe Rogan episode 6,000 or whatever, and it says Gemma Collins.
Collins.
Brilliant. Like,
that is so funny. Right.
Do you want to do the tier list?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a tradition.
With our last 2 guests, we did with Shane and Dave, and there's a few controversial ones with them, and it's okay. There's meant to be controversy with this. Okay. There's these things called tier lists. So it's God tier, top tier, mid tier, low tier, and a little special one that we call the shadow realm. So what happens is you put specific items into these, like you rank them from highest to lowest. God tier being the best, and shadow realm just like
Yeah, you wouldn't touch it. You wouldn't touch it.
under your head. Please pull the trigger, okay? So we've got UK sweets, and we're gonna ask you where you would put these from God tier to the shadow realm.
I mean, if you're feeling extra spicy, underneath the shadow realm is the one we just call death. Just straight up death. Like, I think I'd put like licorice in death. You know what I mean? Just
I would agree with that.
so.
No, I like licorice.
Oh,
It's not God level, but it's like it's sitting well in the middle.
Just see, when you can't just kick him off.
Yeah. How do you remove him? How do you remove him?
So hang on, what's the tiers again one more time?
So it's God tier being something like this is
McCann no winning, but that God, nice.
Okay. It's like God tier being like the greatest of all time. Top tier being like, oh, it's good, but it's not like heavenly. Mid tier, do you know what? I'd take it. Low tier, I'd take it if you had a gun to my head. And the shadow realm, I would not take it if you had a gun to my head. Do you know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
these are the same sort of items we ask every week. So we have. I think eventually we'll get an own tier list of licorice and whatever, and we'll put the faces of the guests who said shadow realm or whatever.
It'll go Shane, Dave, you guys, and then Gemma Collins, and we'll see what tier.
Nice.
Yeah, she likes sweets for sure.
Everything she's just like, yeah, I think that's S.
I like that. Yeah, had a few of those in the time.
Okay, so the first one is a Cadbury's cream egg. Where would you stick a Cadbury's cream egg on a tier list?
I'm gonna go mid tier.
I was gonna say there's a lot of thinking there. There's 5 seconds of just.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. Like, I'd probably agree. It's not up there, but it's decent. It just takes a lot of effort to eat. In my opinion.
That's what people have said. Yeah.
Not practical.
Like, it's like you have to like bite it in half, sort of go around, lick the cream out and whatever. If you eat that fully, that's clog the pipe up and you're gone.
Oh, game over. Game over. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's big time. That's big time. So the next one is a custard cream. Where'd you put a custard cream?
Oh, that's high.
Low tier.
No, man, I lived on custard creams. I lived on custard unit.
Hey, are you 80 or?
Man, I'm happy to be 80 if I get the custard creams.
I must say, I'm siding with McCann on this one.
This is how Dirt Civil breaks up, because you can't stand with a cream egg or a custard cream.
The reason why low tier is they're not like stinking, but they're just like, it's like there's a certain amount of biscuits where if you had them in like one of those tins, it's like full of old people. They're there. Anything there is like low tier to me.
I totally disagree. Dip that into the tea. Absolute heavenly in the mouth.
We just need to step back and just let the dogs fight here.
Yeah. I feel really like, okay, you guys settle your differences and I'll come back. I feel like
this might restart the troubles.
Oh dear.
Over a custard cream.
It's like, is it awesome? Is it lemons?
We found the new title. Restarting the custard cream.
I love a custard cream.
I feel like my justification for a custard cream is like, if you go to your nan's and she's got a custard cream and she's like, do you know, custard cream, out of kindness, you take a custard cream, but it's not something you go looking for. You open up the cupboard and there's a custard cream and you go, close it again,
Sorry, does everyone hate old people here, or what's the crack?
Yeah.
Yes!
Given abuse to that.
That would be all 2020 needs. It would go coronavirus, Ebola, the trouble starts due to a custard cream. Like that's the next thing, and that's what August has in store for us.
Oh,
I just whenever I said that, I seen Aaron's face just immediately going, oh
well, the thing was, I got a notification saying that the Zoom meeting had been upgraded to unlimited time, but it's not going to look like that on the video, so it's going to be like me going,
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh
Because
dear.
I said it, and then you immediately made that face, and I was like, "Is this like a Christian podcast or what?"
No.
If this is what custard creams have brung, what about Pink Panther? You know.
It's like,
Speaking of, where would you stick a Pink Panther in a tier list?
Get out.
Do they even exist anymore?
Oh yeah, they do exist. I think one for me that we always agree on, me and Daniel agree on, that goes in the shadow realm and arguably death, is a dip dab. You know those little bags and you got the stick and you dip it in. It's like
Never
like
did it.
powder. No,
No,
don't. Do not dip dab. All right.
No, definitely not. Too much effort again. Like if I end up eating a custard cream because of effort, I'm not going to start ripping into a bag and dipping something in. Like,
And you get this little candy stick and you have to lick it before the powder stick. It's like
I ain't licking those sticks. No,
the absolute mad kids would just rip it open and down it, but they are the ones that teeth
It's
fell
like
at
those
the age of 5.
crisps.
They're the ones that
It's
are
like
in
those
prison now.
crisps you
Yeah.
would like pour over a packet of salt.
Oh, yes,
and
the salt and shake.
Like,
What a
the next
waste
idea
of
was
time.
that.
Just give me ready salted. Like, what's going to want? Like,
Can I have
why do I need
crisps
to
that
do
already have salt on them?
Yeah.
You know?
DIY ready salted.
Right, so I think the next one is, where would you stick? Oh, I just saw what the next one is, but it's controversial. Where would you stick a Maltesers? Some Maltesers, where'd you stick them?
God tier.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, because they can go on a cheesecake. Like, you know, you can throw them straight in. They're so
Hell yeah,
versatile.
bro.
It's unbelievable. Right, and the TV ads are absolutely golden.
Oh.
Yeah.
The raspberry. Oh no, that was Gaddis' thing. The one with the girl in the wheelchair. Oh my.
Oh
God.
my days.
Yeah.
I was in tears.
Is this the first one we've all agreed on? This is it. There you go, trouble's fixed. There you go.
Good
Troubles is
Friday.
over. Oh dear.
Right.
Who would have thought all it took was some Maltesers? I know, a couple of bags of Maltesers, right there you go.
To think that I thought that this would be a nice simple chat and we've restarted the troubles. I mean, oh my days.
Right, the next one. Do you know what? I'm gonna do the next one after this one, because the next one's like the next one
Yeah,
will.
the
next one
controversial.
will be nuclear warfare. All right. So, Galaxy Bar. Where'd you stick a Galaxy Bar? This is a
God tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, God tier for me as well.
God tier.
Ooh, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Now that we've had 2 ones we all agree on, time for the balaclavas to come out and the you know, because where would you stick a Bounty Bar?
Death. Die.
Now, bear in mind that I just, me and McCann spoke before this podcast, and he complained about desiccated coconut for a good 30 minutes.
It is f***ing stinking.
Yeah. Now Tim
Alright.
is so careful because he looks like he's about to come to the screen and punch you if you say something bad.
Here, I'm well used to McCann, and I love Bounty Bars.
We've done it. It's over.
I love them. Well, actually, I don't love them. Like, they're not like the first one I go to in the packet of, you know, celebrations, heroes, whatever you call them tins. But they are decent. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd like them more to spite me.
no, absolutely not. I just like them.
Tim eats them and just goes, yeah, and then you turn around and he goes, spits them out. He's like, grim.
No, I like them. They're decent. I like them.
That is a controversial one. Very controversial. It's like you want to hold back on the Bounty. The Bounty's like the trick up your sleeve, essentially. It's all going well until you mention a Bounty Bar, you know, because you could do celebrations tier list. You've got Galaxy and that. You've got whatever. You got Maltesers as well. Mars Bar, you know, you got all that. But then you've got like, you know, when you go to a malt, I think Dave said this last week actually, and I'm probably just going to repeat him. I don't care, he's not listening. But you walk in and you had a celebrations box. What the ultimate evil trick is, open it up and it's just full of bounties. You know,
Yeah.
that's like that's waking up in hell. That's worse. Than
That's a great night.
That is McCann, and he doesn't know it. It breaks out in sweat straight away. Oh, no.
Oh.
Gone wrong.
Love
That's a
Bounties.
great night.
Oh man.
Tim watching The Last Dance for the 4th time with a massive box of bounties.
Just lathered in Bounties. Just. I love it.
There's so 2 very different scenarios. That's a good social experiment. You put a celebration box in a room, in a complete white room. You get someone to walk in, and they open it up, and you just see like some people get to start punching the walls, some people headbutting, some people start eating the bounties. And I think the ones that, no offense to them, but I think the ones that are eating the bounties are the one we have to look after. You know.
Yeah.
I think
I need looked after. I need looked after. Fair play. Good call. You're not wrong.
That's brilliant. That's so brilliant.
Simply, do you know what? If a podcast is going wrong, we always whip out the tier list, and this wasn't going wrong. Let me rephrase.
This was
like,
awful.
we were just like, I texted Aaron. I was like, start this now because
No. What I meant to say is like, if a podcast is going wrong and you have a tier list ready, it's bam, it's settled. You know what I mean?
We've done tier lists for every podcast we've had a guest on.
Because we're fine, but the guests are left shaking. You know what I mean? They're left friendships torn apart and all that, as we've seen. You know, there's been a lot of.
Church might have come back, but after, troubles and the bounty, it's just there's not a bright future at the minute. You know, it could be in danger.
Or like, I don't know if we're going to keep going with UK Sweets, or if we're going to like move on. But UK Sweets seem to be a thing that everyone can like relate to. You know what I mean? Because if you were like American Sweets, that's Shadow Realm. Every single one of them is in the Shadow Realm.
Most of them are right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Apart from Reese's.
Are they nice?
They are first class. They are. Reese's
McCann's not a fan.
Really?
Low tier, dude. Peanut butter?
Yes, great.
I love peanut butter, to be fair now. Like,
I love that.
I love it too.
Guns, peanut butter.
Peanut butter bounties. What a great time that would be.
Peanut butter. There's so many titles. So many titles that this could be.
Guns and peanut butter, the new Guns N' Roses tribute act.
Guns and peanut butter.
You seen it? You know Macaulay Culkin, the guy who played Kevin in Home Alone. He had a band, like an underground band, where they took songs and they replaced the lyrics with pizza. They replaced it with pizza-themed lyrics. I've got no idea what the band's called, but that just rung a bell in my head. The tribute act of Guns N' Roses, but every Guns N' Roses song, you just replace some lyrics with peanut butter. You know, like.
I love that.
I mean, there's an audience. There's an audience for everyone. I believe there's an audience that would watch it.
Someone in the world has gone, yep, that's my thing.
I'm trademarking that. Somebody get a patent on that. We're trademarking it. Fair play.
Dave said an interesting one on Friday. What would you guys? This is a really controversial one. I remember going into Eason's one day and buying Eason's of all places to buy this. It's a food, and I went in and I bought it. And by the time I got out of the shop, I was like, that was a waste of $150. A Turkish delight.
Not for me.
I love Turkish delight.
You are
deaf one.
You are eating.
You know what? My mum loves Turkish. I love every food. Actually, I've just realised I don't dislike any food apart from celery. I'll cut the line at celery. Everything else.
You're lucky because celery was our next item. What we were gonna have, and then we'll just roll that out.
UK Sweets and celery, you know, they go together.
We throw celery in as a wild card at the end, just to see.
Can't stand the stuff.
Nah, fair enough.
Stinking.
I mean, I feel like apparently your taste buds change every 7 years. So that's what Dave said last week. If we come back in 30 years' time and we'd be like, oh, we like Turkish delights, don't think so. Don't think that's happening.
That's true though. Like, what's something that you think you would like, but you're just like, I don't like the taste of this?
Onions and tomatoes, genuinely, because
he knows straight in.
The onions thing will come. Trust.
Just prepare in the back of his head.
Because I love having spaghetti. I love having meatballs, right? But like, I am gonna properly like dig like around the onions and the tomatoes. I like tomato like tomato sauce and tomato like on a pizza, you know what I mean? But like, see proper, it's just not for me. That's
how old are you guys?
16, so it'll change.
16, dude, easy. Like, by the time I'd say, whenever you have your first nice onion, probably when you're about 22, you slide my DMs, man.
Just eating the onions whole.
you have your first nice onion, and you
My
just
brother does that. My brother eats onions whole now, so his taste buds could change to not liking onions.
That's psychotic. That's psychotic.
Yeah, I know.
Eat an onion.
I don't think I've talked about my brother before. He's very weird in the sense of what he eats and drinks. He only drinks water. He never has had anything else in his life apart from water, right? And he doesn't like sweets really. He doesn't like fizzy drinks or whatever. And if you're having a cheese and ham toastie, what's one thing you don't think they put in cheese and ham? Onions, cheese, onions and ham. Sorry, and like I refuse.
He just sounds like a healthy guy, man.
Yeah,
he's a healthy guy, but it's not me. It's the complete opposite of me. Like, you know.
Do you know what I think? One of them foods, or not even a food, something that you will like you mature to is loving coffee.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because when I was younger, like I wouldn't have touched the stuff. But see, as you get older, it's even the experience of like going to a coffee shop. It becomes a big part of your life, and you just
becomes your life.
Yeah, your life. Yeah, essentially.
I really didn't like coffee before like quarantine, and then my mum loves it. So I decided to give it. I've had it before, but I've never really liked it. But like there was one time where I had like 10 cups a day. Like it was, and then I've had to just shut myself off because it was
that's
like
unhealthy. Surely
that's probably
dangerous.
Unhealthy. Yeah, that's probably dangerous. But
yeah, I mean,
it's not like if you eat 21 bananas a day or something, you die because of how much potassium's in it. Like, you know, like
weird suicide, but yeah.
Yeah.
The detectives arrive on scene. They just see loads of banana pads. He's like, sorry, I think it was an overdose by banana. And he's like, oh god, the cases are spiking over death and banana. Like, brilliant.
Unbelievable. I'd say for me, one thing that I'd like to like, but I just cannot see myself liking is Brussels sprouts.
Oh no!
Again, bro, give it time.
Really? You love them?
Oh yeah, it's coming, dude. There'll be a Christmas dinner some year. You'll have them. And it'll hit different. It'll just like, what do you say, Tim? Slap?
Yeah, it'll slap. You don't even have to like the taste. Like I don't think tea tastes nice, but it's become such an institution that it's just something you drink. Brussels sprouts are the same. They don't taste really nice. They're not. You don't go, oh, this is delicious. You're just like, this is part of my Christmas dinner, and it's happening. You know.
Yeah. I think
I just learned to love them.
Like 2 weeks ago, genuinely about the Christmas dinner that I don't want to have. Is like you've got your roasties, you've got your gammon is like gammon's god tier for me. I don't know about you guys where you'd stick gammon. You've got
gammon's
turkey.
God tier.
I like
turkey.
Gammon.
I'd stick turkey god tier or top tier, depends on who's making it. You know.
Too dry. Too dry.
You got potatoes, you got whatever. I'll take carrots and I'll take peas. But see if I see someone coming off with like a wee teaspoon and they got like a little bowl full of broth, I'm gonna slap that, you know.
Class, man. You're too young. You're too young. See what bit of bacon mixed in? Unbelievable.
Bacon for Christmas dinner?
No, in with your Brussels sprouts. McCann, you know what the crack is. Yeah. You boys haven't hit the Brussels sprouts.
I was like, you just having a fry. You're just having a fry for Christmas dinner, like
classic Ulster fry with a wee bit of Brussels in the side.
No,
absolutely.
No. You've got potato bread, you got your Brussels sprouts, you know, you've got the classic, you know.
I wouldn't say no to potato bread in my Christmas dinner.
No, neither would I, to be fair.
Yeah.
God tier, potato bread, like right at the top.
God tier. Hash browns, God tier.
Soda bread, down here.
I would say top tier.
No, it's too dry.
Yeah, I'd say soda bread's top tier.
I'm just step back and we'll let them go again.
It's too thick for me. It's too much to eat. Too much.
Dude, a filled soda that's like a Belfast delicacy, isn't it? They do it the best.
I haven't had one before.
The man hasn't had one. He hasn't had a filled
Daniel,
soda.
come on, man.
Both of them just leave. I'm like, oh, dear, Daniel. We've lost our guests.
I can't do that. I just see you later.
No, well, fair enough.
I mean, Brussels sprouts are weird, and so is like. I know. I'm sure this isn't what you thought you'd be coming on to chat about, but man, I don't know.
I didn't think I'd be chatting about Brussels sprouts, to be fair.
I didn't think I'd be chatting about Brussels sprouts either. But
I thought we might go down that avenue.
It's good chat. Like.
It's like, you know what? We'll about the old Brussels sprouts knowledge for today, and we'll keep going. I mean, like, I don't think any. Well, I can speak. I'm not speaking for Dan here, but when we start a podcast, it's just. I know it's for probably you guys too, but it's just rambling. It's just pure ramble. We have a like one topic you want to talk about, and if that becomes the episode, it becomes the episode. If it doesn't, just waffle. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about last time about Elon Musk and Tom Cruise making a movie in space, and we were like, when is Tom Cruise gonna die? You know, like when, like, and we came up with a movie that Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise are gonna do. They're gonna go to Saturn. They're gonna film on the rings of Saturn. They'll get a time machine. Elon Musk will help them, and it'll be brilliant because Tom Cruise will never like. It's not Scientology. He's just living off he just breathes in the life force or whatever.
The aliens.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Might actually send them a message and see if they'll record.
Get Tom Cruise on next week, sure. And Gemma
Collins, nice, sweet. To be fair, whenever we started the podcast, it was like we were like, right, we'll have 3 or 4 topics to talk about, and we go straight in, and we just start talking about something, and then no topics would get mentioned the rest of the podcast. Like,
I mean, that's good in the sense that like you have more topics for the next episode. You know?
Oh, they never get mentioned. They just never get mentioned.
Great.
We just write them down just to get it out of our minds, you know.
Brilliant.
We did a podcast with a guy from here who's a magician a few weeks ago, and that podcast ended up we rambled for must have been like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, maybe, just pure waffle, you know.
And then after the podcast stopped, we just rambled on again for like half an hour talking about rubbish, like. But you know,
that's great.
I think Aaron, you said earlier about like you were saying, oh, how this came about, and you was like, you two were talking, and you were like, might as well record this. But I feel like, unfortunately, the best what would be a podcast happens unrecorded. You know, you're sitting, on a Discord call or whatever, and you're on for like 5 hours, just absolutely talking, and it's funny. Because I can think of moments that would be absolutely brilliant, but just no one's recorded it, and it's like you try to replicate it and you just don't get it. So when you do get some raw, funny moments, it's golden, like, you know.
So that makes sense. Like Discord call. Yeah, what's a Discord call?
Oh, basically like so. So like just Skype. It's just Skype essentially. It's just a newer version of Skype.
Okay.
Not just sorry, I didn't know that we're about the
yeah, we're old. Okay, we're old.
Okay, so here's what I want to ask you too, right? So you guys are Gen Z, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do Gen Z like slag off millennials in the same way that millennials slag off boomers?
Like, as in the sense that like we don't like the younger ones.
Like it's like the generation after you sort of like, look at these guys.
Oh yeah. So what the as in after.
So the generation before you. The generation before you, isn't it, McCann?
Oh yeah, sorry, generation before you, yeah.
As in like you guys.
Yeah, us.
Yeah, as in us.
Essentially, do you hate us?
No, I find myself slagging. Okay. I was trying to find my way around it. Daniel just said, yeah. No, I was trying to find. I think I find myself slagging the younger generation more than I would, the older one.
Okay.
This is brilliant podcast, Jazz.
You are the younger generation.
No, but like even the younger generation than me, like the Zoomers.
So are you slagging off like 7-year-olds?
Like babies?
Well, it's mainly down to Fortnite. It's mainly just down to Fortnite, and apart from that, there's that's a big enough hatred I have for them.
So basically, what it was I was on TikTok. And
that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed anyway. We're millennials, McCann. It's not for us.
I saw like someone was like, "This is what Gen Z says about millennials." So like these are like comments that people have left on a TikTok video, particularly slagging off millennials. And like one of them's like, millennials be like 34 talking about I'm a Hufflepuff. You're worried about the wrong house. And then it'll be like, millennials will literally kill you if you disrespect their Harry Potter house. People that say adulting make me sick. Millennials love coffee and are alcoholics. And I'm like, is this a thing? Like, are we actually...
Just love your coffee now. So
yeah, man.
We do like our coffee.
I'm McCann's an alcoholic, so they're spot on.
He was just reading out facts. He's just spitting bars, facts,
Maybe they are. Maybe they are right. I've never thought.
I honestly, I read that and I was like, yeah, I get that.
No, I mean, very controversial, but I haven't watched it. Like for liking, what I want to do is make movies, directing, and all that. But I haven't watched a single Harry Potter movie.
Spielberg. Nice. That's
Yeah. That's why we're getting him on the week after
One
Gemma
day-
Collins.
One day when
I get
I
it now.
podcast with Spielberg, you'll look back and you'll go, flip's sake. Oh,
Well done.
I was
Fair
talking
play.
about Brussels sprouts with him, like but you've lost my train of thought now, Daniel. That's great. There we go. Oh no, sorry. This is class. Good memory now. I haven't watched any Harry Potter movies, is what I was going to say. Not a single one. Or
Wow.
another troubles here. Just gonna step slowly.
and it's not out of the
I'm not
fact of
into
not
any of it.
Yeah. It's
I
just
don't like
like
Harry Potter. I don't like Lord of the Rings. Don't like.
Yeah, I've never seen Lord of the Rings,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
it's one of
Lord
them
of the
things.
Dragons and stuff.
Nah, not for me. Give me real life, and I also don't like people. I don't like whenever, do you know, if you say, oh, I haven't seen The Lion King, and someone goes, oh, you are an awful human. No, I just haven't seen a film. Just relax.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new one, and I'm not going to watch it.
I haven't seen the new one either, to be fair.
We were going to the cinema and we were
Love it. Respect.
we were going to the cinema and we had the option to see, I don't know if you guys saw the current war with Cumberbatch.
It
and
was
everything.
Cumberbatch and your man that plays General Zod. I forget his name.
Yeah, and
He's a good actor.
the Lion King, and we had the options. We were like, nah, we like the old Lion King. We'll just go see this current war. And I think we both. I don't think either of us said that was wick, but it was deep down. I think we were both thinking that was so rubbish.
I was like,
that
well, I learned more about the light bulb and Thomas Edison than I knew before, and that's all I'll be able to take away from it.
But to be fair, there isn't a worse feeling than going to the cinema and coming out like with just pure regret. Me and McCann have done this many times. We've went to see films, and I'll say I want to go see this. McCann will say, nah, this one's great, and we'll go and see it. And it's a waste, but it happens the other way around. It happens the other way around as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up. Very bad.
I'm gonna bring up 2 movies I've seen. The second one, it's if you guys, whatever your opinion is, it's your opinion, and Daniel's gonna get annoyed. So we went to see. Well, me and Daniel, the first ever movie we saw at midnight was Star Wars Rogue One. I love Rogue One. I love it the bits, right? Second, I think
Never
it was
seen
like. Second was Avengers Infinity War, right? No, that's not the one you have to worry about. Second was Avengers Infinity War. No, Endgame. Sorry, but class again.
Okay.
But then have you seen Star Wars Episode 9?
Never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right then. That's going to save Daniel from erupting into flames because I absolutely hate the film and Daniel loves it. Did you see the new Terminator though? Terminator Dark Fate?
Never seen it.
Do not watch it. Absolute hot garbage.
I've heard it's bad.
Hot garbage. I just burn it. That's one you put in the death. That's one you put in death.
You're all sly. You're all sly. That's unbelievable. Oh, you're so negative. I like that. I just like the film. That's all it was.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Fair enough. How long have we been going for? We've gone for like a solid hour to be fair. But
I can't even remember what happened since custard creams.
Neither can I.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
how
a
we
blackout.
got there, but
You're doing the Ulster Hall next year, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
mate, yeah.
can't
I was
wait.
supposed to be doing it on the. I was supposed to be doing it on the 5th. I was supposed to be doing it on the. It was only like the other day there, and now it's been moved to the 5th of June next year. So hopefully by that stage, Corona has well and truly died down, etc.
We'll be there. We'll be there just to throw Brussels
some
sprouts
Brussels sprouts at you.
I fully expect it.
just pelting them at him at the stage, regardless of what's happening.
And you know what the thing is? Guaranteed you will not remember it. Like, and so you're just gonna think there's some guys chucking Brussels sprouts at you.
Throwing Brussels sprouts at me.
So Daniel now has to go to Dave's comedy show and give him a Dolecast mug, and we now have to go to your show and we now have to throw Brussels sprouts at you. So they're
I want a mug too, though.
Oh,
Like,
dear.
rest is yours.
Yeah, that's a pretty poor deal from a
Oh
can.
my god!
Like,
Oh my god!
I
Brussels
love
sprouts
mugs.
in the mug.
Yeah, here, I'll take it.
I don't know if you guys have heard this, but so me and Shane taught us the Dolecast mug, but there's a complicated story on how he got it. So basically, I asked a question on, I think was it his old podcast, if he would listen to this. And this was like when this podcast was first starting out.
A year ago at least, you know.
And he listened to it and he played a bit of it in the background, and then I just kept going basically. And I was like, oh, this is great crack, a wee gimmick if I just ask every week. And I asked for ages and ages, and then he basically told me to do one, and then I was like, yeah, no worries. And then I got him a Dolecast mug. I was playing in the Newton Valley, and I got it left at that gig. And
Respect, big respect.
Yeah, now it could have gone really weird, or it was well received. So and then after the show, I think it was actually just a few days before my birthday. I was looking on Instagram, and he put up the mug, and he'd got the Dolecast mug, and then I moved to Boytown, and I started harassing them basically, and asking them, specifically at Dave, and then
essentially because you'd already harassed Shane, so you just had to like move on.
Exactly. And then I think, and then they were like, do one, and then I think I tried get it. Now, to be fair, the table turned, then came on the podcast, which was unbelievable considering how many times I've said to them.
Daniel's told me that like the one person he will try, like he'll never mention again is Geddes, because he.
I am terrified of Geddes. I think I asked him once. I think I asked Geddes once, and he just like, see you later, and I was like, that's he called me a maniac or something.
That's so good.
I think I asked him once if he would listen. I think it was just after Eddie was born, and I said, oh, it might help put him to sleep or something. And then he was just like, you're...
What, the mug?
No, the Dolecast.
Just whack Eddie over the head with a mug. Just I thought that was the most sadistic thing. I was like, nah, that is a bit too far.
I told him to listen to the podcast, and told him it was like a lullaby or something, it might help put the baby to sleep. And he was just like, you're a maniac.
Was that on his Patreon? Was that on his Patreon? I heard him read out the question. Was it a question or something in one of his?
Yeah, I think I asked him a question. Like,
I think I heard it.
You're a full weirdo. And
yeah, that's so funny.
And I'd love to get us on the podcast, but I'd be too terrified of the man. I'd be scared of him the whole time. I would just sit in silence and read and carefully plan it out. Because that man could snap me in two and sweat. He's unbelievable.
He'd go to jail though, so
yeah, you probably would.
He'd break out. He'd just break out. He's
Imagine starting a podcast in jail. Here, that's something I hasn't done before.
That's a unique selling point.
Yeah, it's not even a podcast. You just find out you're schizophrenic. You're tied up on a straitcoat, and you're just saying it over and over.
Is this Geddes?
Oh, that took a dark turn.
No, I'm just saying. You're just locked up in prison.
No, but
I think the moral of the story is no matter you have to harass someone for a year to get what you want from them. I think that's the moral of the story.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I asked Shane and Dave a lot, and it took one go for me to be like, yeah, I'll leave him, because that's okay. I'm too scared of him now.
It took Shane and
Dave.
Dave.
Then you got them on the podcast. That was good work.
I actually found a clip of them the other day saying, like, I asked them to come on ages ago, and they were like, never.
They just started laughing. They didn't even read it out. They couldn't finish the sentence without laughing. They just started breaking out.
The joys of lockdown.
Oh, there goes the dog.
Me. I mean, I know people are dying, but
I know people are dead, but Dolecast is going up and up and up.
I know people are dying,
priorities.
But the big dogs are talking about custard creams and Gemma Collins. So
So life's good.
It evens it out. You
Oh,
know?
brilliant. Do we have any listeners' questions to end on that? Or?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I completely
Sweet as.
forgot.
Because we know we were going to mention how long do you want to, like, is there a certain amount of time you want to go for? But we've just rambled on for like way over time. So
Preferably like 20 minutes ago, but it's sweet. No, man, I'm all good. I have no time limits. I'm my own man. McCann's the same. McCann's ready to smash out another podcast after this, so he's.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm recording Stop the World after this. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get a few questions in, hopefully.
Right. Weird. So this is gonna sound really weird. This first question. So this guy Stephen Beck and Aaron. You'll see Aaron.
No, don't. You're not asking this. You're not asking this.
He says, "I'll not ask about Aaron. Felt my heart crack when Shane wasn't asked. No point anymore, really. Bit of context to this. So this guy Stephen every week asks, what is the girth of Aaron, right? And like, really weird question. Really weird question. And I think
Me or Aaron?
Me. Oh, that'd be weirder if it was you. No, that'd be so much weirder.
I think I know the exact measurements. I can tell you. Like,
it'd be weird if he asked that every week, even when you weren't on. If he asked what's the girth of Aaron McCann, but he asks. I think there was one time we got a tape measure and like measured
The girth for my leg or something, you know, like.
Yeah, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's weird. That's pretty
weird. That's very, very, very weird. Yeah.
So weird. Ollie Scott asks, "Who do you support?" Yeah, I presume that I don't know. I don't know.
Ask McCann this.
Be very careful. We could have a
Off the
Maltesers and Bounty
Off the
scenario.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm a Liverpool guy. I don't know about you. About the two Aarons. Who do you guys support?
I'm not Tottenham, by the way. I'm Arsenal. I just want to point that out there. I was just answering
All right.
Warren McCann.
I support Hibs.
He's a big Hibs fan, big avid supporter.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't know football, so there we are.
No, I'm clearly the exact same.
Yeah, I like watching a good bit of rugby, but football, it's like, no, I'd rather watch High School Musical 5 times, you know.
Here, High School Musical is a great show.
That's a good show.
I haven't watched it.
You guys go 50 plus?
No, I'm going to get the free trial, though.
It's good.
It's good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. Watch The Mandalorian. Watch The Mandalorian. It's very, very good.
Ben Lonsdale says, other than Civil, what's your favourite podcast?
What? My favourite podcast?
Yeah, well, yeah.
That guy follows me on TikTok. What's his name? Ben Lonsdale?
Ben Lonsdale? Yeah.
Because I remember seeing him and I'm like, Lonsdale trainers were so whack, weren't they? And then that was where I seen his
call
name.
that his family name.
Yeah, apologies. What's my favourite podcast? It's not like
you don't have to say the Dolecast.
Yeah, you don't have to mention us. Don't worry.
Right? No, I wasn't gonna. I'll say it's No, I listen to be honest, I don't listen to comedy podcasts, which is like I sign up. I'm on McCann's Patreon. I'm on Gaddis's Patreon. I'm on Connor Keys and Mickey Bartlett's, but just to see how far they've sent it. And then I listen to a lot of health and fitness ones, so probably not. One called Modern Wisdom's my favorite. Modern Wisdom.
I'd be too scared to sign up to Gaddis's Patreon.
In case he sees you.
What would you say, Aaron? What would you say is your favorite podcast?
I like probably a lot of comedians. Just Bill Burr. I like Rogan's podcast, depending on who he's got on. I like Tom Segura's podcast, and I like Kill Tony. Probably the main ones.
Fair enough.
What's Kill Tony? I have no idea.
It's a podcast with it's done live at the Comedy Store, and they have like upcoming open micers do like a minute of stand up.
Yeah.
And you get roasted by the like panel of comedians that are there.
Oh, wow.
So they'll have a new comedian every week, like review these people that are just starting stand up or have been doing stand up for a while, and yeah, it's good.
You just get shredded.
You get destroyed.
Shredded. McCann was on it. Check it out. It's on YouTube. Weren't you on it, McCann?
Yeah, I was on her 5 times, lad.
Yeah, same as myself.
Fair enough.
Ben Lonsdale says, "Well, you're."
Oh, here he goes. Lonsdale
He
again.
he loves it. Goals for the remainder of 2020.
Oh, nice one.
Oh wow! If
If
we're
they're
out of
into
our house,
2020, yeah.
yeah, if we're out of our house, I don't know. I'm hoping to move to Belfast actually. So if that can come off, if I manage to get it sorted, but
Yeah.
Other than that, just businessy stuff like boring stuff. None of you will care. It's just boring business kind of base stuff. I just can't see the point in setting long-term goals for this year because it's just get out of this would be a good one.
Such an odd year,
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I hate to say because I found myself at the start. I think lockdown's been good for me, but I'm kind of scared to say it because people will jump on you and go, "Oh, it's not a time to be doing anything productive. You know, you should be. It's a pandemic." Like I had people say that to me when I was like all motivational. You know, that's just what I do.
Yeah.
But I try not to say that I'm enjoying it too much now. So I just because I know people are dying, as Dana said.
Yeah. I mean, this has been brilliant. No, I'm not gonna say it's been brilliant because it hasn't been brilliant, but. I mean, it's.
I know people are dying. Oh, it's been brilliant. It's been more than brilliant.
It's been great.
It's about time. I'm like, seriously, done.
Ollie Scott says again, "Who do you support?" I don't know why I said that twice, but
He really wants to know.
really wants that. He's dying to know.
That's hilarious.
So Ben Lonsdale's asked his third question of the night.
Ben Lonsdale is, man, that guy wants to know. I like that.
Big fan.
He says, I presume this is Justin McCann, but he says, do you prefer making podcasts to performing comedy shows?
It's definitely not the
Definitely comedy shows, just because that's what, kind of like, I do enjoy doing the podcast, but I think that it kind of came with getting the stand-up and being like, right, what feeds into it? Everything that I'm doing is to feed in the stand-up at the end of the day. So that's my main thing. That's what I like to do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Solid answer.
No, I mean, I was going to say I like making podcasts, but I don't do stand-up, so that's not part of me.
Are you thinking about doing it?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I'd really love to.
You should.
Yeah, no, Shane said last week that just, obviously I'm not of age to properly go, but he just said to bring a guardian. And,
that didn't stop me. I started whenever I was 17.
Oh, right, okay.
Just lie about your age.
Yeah, sweet ass.
Yeah, just start off with a lie. You'll lie loads more anyway, so you might as well just start with a lie.
Ben Lonsdale said, "Have you ever?"
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah, you know what?
You could have guessed. You could have guessed.
I'll just send him the Zoom. I might send him the Zoom.
Just come on. You can just come on in and ask.
I might just send them the Zoom meeting and say, "Hey man, do you want to come in here?" Because
Right, what's he asked?
He says, "Have you ever got stage fright?"
Yeah, definitely. Like if it's like a kind of important gig, like they're all important, but like if it's somewhere like if you're in a new comedy club and you're making a first impression, or maybe you're doing support for someone and you really want to like, you know, do well for them, because how well they're doing kind of depends on like if they have a decent warm-up act as well, I guess, to start off with anyway. So just like if it's a certain high pressure situation, like when we did the Ulster Hall, I remember I like was in like shakes for 24 hours before it. Yeah, it just depends on the gig, but you should get some level of stage fright before every gig, I think.
Hold on, you'll not believe this. You'll genuinely not.
If it's all right with
Ben Lonsdale's asking our
Ben
question.
Lonsdale is
No,
on the
he's come on
Dolecast.
this meeting. I've just sent him the link. He's coming on.
Yes, boy. Yes, man.
Let's do
Great
it.
man, Ben Lonsdale. Here. Big fan of your trainers, mate. Big fan of your trainers.
The trainers?
Yeah, Lonsdale, big fan.
Oh, yeah, classic how I was.
Ben! There he is.
We're just talking about the fact that you've asked like 6 questions, and every other question you're the one. So we're just wondering, if you have any other questions while you're here? Instead
I don't know. Let me think off the top of my head.
brilliant. That is so
Let me
good.
think. Right. Would you rather never make a podcast again or never train again for the Tim.
Never train again.
Never train again.
Never start training. I'd say probably never. Never make a podcast because like training is part of my like business and life. So
it's addictive for all those personal trainers.
yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cheers, Lonsdale. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you later.
Here, thanks so much, mate.
Lonsdale.
Bye,
Have a good
Lonsdale.
day.
Bye.
Enjoy your Xbox game.
That was. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. I thought you were joking. I was like, oh, I'm going to give him the meeting idea. I'm like, I'm sure you are.
Really quick. I went on the Tim's Instagram. I copied the link so quickly, and I was like,
Well,
join this right now. This is brilliant.
I think that's
Great
gonna end the podcast there. That was brilliant. Thank you guys for coming on.
But yeah, thank you so much for.
Is there any socials or whatever you just want to plug now, like, because might as well.
Well, McCann, do you want to plug anything there?
Twitter, McCann Man. Facebook, Aaron McCann Comedy. Instagram, McCann Comedy. YouTube, Aaron McCann. Podcast, Dirt Civil and Stop the World.
Instagram, Tim Gallagher 95. Instagram, the Honest Online Coach. If you need any, fitnessy stuff, I'm the man to go to.
Whoa. We're not. Hey, I said plug your Instagram.
And third, Dirt Civil. I don't use Twitter. Well, I do have Twitter, but it's not. I don't use it.
Class.
Fair enough. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks
Not a
very much.
problem.
No worries,
man.
lads. It was
Pleasure.
great.
All right.
Pleasure.
Cheers.